And welcome back as we continue to retrace the steps of that fateful Jefferson City tornado. Again, it was on the ground well before it was in the capital city. Folks down in Eldon certainly could tell you that. This is what that radar loop looked like before it had a tornado warning as it was working its way through Morgan County, and it certainly at least looks like it had that kidney bean shape. But by 10:45, National Weather Service had seen enough and issued a tornado warning for portions of, again, Morgan County and Miller County. And that included the city of Eldon. So we'll flip over to that velocity. And again, we're looking for those reds and greens, that couplet here as those continue to work closer toward Eldon. They started to get a little bit brighter. That tells us that storm was intensifying. And sure enough, it dropped a tornado just to the west of the city of Eldon itself. And that's when our tone ultimately ended up changing that night, because we could see some debris being lofted up into the air, well up into the air, about 13,000 feet. It's that dark blue circle right in there just to the east of Eldon. That was debris from the city of Eldon itself, and that continued to track off toward the north and east. And we put two and two together. That thing was staying right around Highway 54. Ultimately, that helped give us a little bit more lead time for those folks into Jefferson City, about 30 to 40 minutes. But certainly right there, those darker blues showing up right along where that tornado damage was ultimately surveyed. And we're continuing to track in on the recovery effort. ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Luke Victor is checking in on how the recovery effort is going in Eldon. One. Yeah, Jess, most of us not going to be soon forgetting that fateful night as that Jefferson City tornadoes kind of burned into some of our memories here out there across mid-Missouri. But those folks down in Eldon ultimately played a pivotal role in giving us a lot of lead time for those folks in the capital city itself. This is a look at what ultimately became that Jefferson City tornado. It touched down in Eldon first, and it never got off the ground as it continued to barrel right through Cole County and into the capital city. But 10:45, that's when the National Weather Service issued that tornado warning initially. That included portions of northern Miller County and portions of Morgan County. But we'll step this up and get it closer to the city limits of Eldon itself. It touched down initially just to the west of the city of Eldon, but you can see that circulation is actually tightening up here as we continue to work through some of these volume scans. That's where things became serious. That's where our tone changed, and that helped give us, those folks up in Jefferson City, about 30 to 40 minutes of lead time, because we could see there was a tornado on the ground right here where those dark blues, that's debris being lofted 13,000 feet up, and that continued to track off toward the north and east as it continued to stay just to the north of Highway 54. That told us there was a tornado on the ground doing damage, and that allowed us to change our tone and give those folks well within this path, well along Highway 54, some added lead time. We're continuing to track, though, the recovery efforts down into the city limits of Eldon itself in northern Miller County. That's where we'll send things over to ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Luke Victor, who's checking in on those folks.